On this week's Sports Night in Auburn, we have exclusive footage of Auburn basketball's SEC tournament win.
And we also have you covered on the start of SEC play for baseball and softball.
Keep watching to see what we have in store.
Sports Night in Auburn starts right now.
Auburn, Alabama, the best atmosphere in all of college sports.
He drives and slips.
Welcome to Sports Night in Auburn.
Going deep to the left.
Welcome to Sports Night in Auburn.
Sideline. Going to the inside.
Welcome to Sports Night in Auburn.
And welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn.
Welcome to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Jack Corbett.
And I'm Valerie Heffernan. We have had a busy week on the Plains and an even more exciting weekend coming up.
March Madness?
No, even better. Two of the most amazing birthdays coming up this weekend, Thursday and Friday.
Oh. Whose birthday is it?
Mine.
Oh.
And
not
yours.
Oh, okay, yeah, my bad.
Thursday and Friday.
Birthday twin, kind of.
It's not only a birthday, but it's a national holiday. For everyone watching, you have to celebrate.
I didn't know that. But
It is.
More
I'm
you
making
know.
it a thing.
More you know. Okay.
Starting now. Well, kicking things off on a high note, Auburn men's basketball traveled to Nashville, Tennessee for the 2024 SEC tournament where they took home the title. With 3 games in 3 days, the Orange and Blue defeated South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Florida twin Bruce Pearl's second SEC tournament at Auburn and the second one in just 5 years. Over in Nashville, here's reporter Zach Card's recap of the tournament.
Auburn men's basketball hasn't won an SEC tournament game since 2019. In 2019, they won it all, and 5 years later, the Tigers are cutting down the nets again.
First up were the South Carolina Gamecocks on Friday. The 5th-seeded Gamecocks lost by 40 points earlier this season in Neville Arena, and this game wasn't much different. Auburn jumped out to a 20-point lead by halftime and eventually won 86-55.
Man, Coach always tells us, now's the time to go on a run, make shots. That's how you advance in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament. That's how you win games. And I think everybody been taking pride in what he said.
Janai Broome started the tournament off well with 18 points and 10 rebounds. Auburn's defense shut down South Carolina, holding them to just 28% shooting.
Yeah, like yesterday's game, they scored over 50 points in the paint. And we knew we can't win like that. But, our front line takes pride in our defense, protecting the rim. And as you can see, on the defensive side, we held our own and stood our ground.
Game 2, the Tigers faced Mississippi State. Bulldogs beat LSU and upset number 1 seed and regular season champ Tennessee for a spot in the semis. Mississippi State played a physical brand of ball, and Auburn didn't shy away.
We knew they was going to come out the gate, be physical, and be Mississippi State, which is one of the most physical teams in our league. So, we had to adjust and, respect them, but we had to play our game at the end of the day. So,
we knew that it was going to be a dogfight. We played them twice, so we already seen what they're capable of. So we just had to come out there and basically execute. Coach told us what it was going to be about.
After being tied at halftime, the Tigers took a lead and didn't lose it, winning 73-66. 5 Tigers scored double-digit points in the win.
This team is full of winners, full of competitors, and at the end of the day, we want to play for championships, and we have opportunity tomorrow.
In the championship, the Tigers matched up against the Florida Gators. Led by Todd Golden, a former Bruce Pearl assistant at Auburn, the Gators beat Georgia, Alabama, and Texas A&M on their road to the finals. The Tigers never trailed in a game marred by an early heartbreaking injury to Florida starting center Micah Handlockton just 3 minutes into the game.
I feel for Micah. Obviously, he fractured his leg. And, our program is really appreciative of our medical staff, the SEC medical staff, and even Auburn's group for how quickly they responded and, comforted him and were able to kind of get him under control and, take care of him. So we're thankful for that.
The Gators made Tiger fans' hearts race when they cut the lead to 1 point. But the Tigers quickly responded with a 10-0 run. The Tigers closed out the game, winning 86-67 to win the second SEC tournament championship under Bruce Pearl, the first coach to do that in Auburn program history. Janai Broome was named tournament MVP and surpassed 2,000 career points in the final. Chad Baker-Mazzara joined Broome on the all-tournament team.
I was on the phone with my dad, and sadly he couldn't make it up here today, but I was just showing him that I made the old tournament team, and it was just a really special moment because I know they're super proud of me and very happy, and I just want to share a moment with both of them because I miss them, but yeah, it was just a little family moment going on, just showing them what was going on.
The Tigers hope to compound 6 more wins in the NCAA tournament to be showered in confetti once again. Reporting from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Zach Card, Eagle Eye TV.
After winning the tournament, the team talked with the media about the upcoming March Madness tournament and their thoughts on the first game. Let's check out what Denver Jones and tournament MVP Joleigh Broome had to say after the game.
Like we say, we're going to get to the top, and in order to get to the top, you have to beat the best. So whoever's in our bracket and whoever we end up going up against, we'll be ready, well prepared. My coach do an amazing job on scouting and things like that. So the team is still locked in. We'll celebrate today, but after this, we're on to our next opponent. But we're excited for the opportunity.
Man, I never thought I would be, especially in this position, especially go to March Madness. And I feel like it's a real blessing, nice to be here. And when I seen it was playing Yale and Washington, I just don't like being in cold places. So that's the only down thing. But I'm excited to play though. It means a lot. It's just something that I've seen growing up, and I always wanted to be in this position and honestly play in March Madness and play in front of millions of people. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people watching, especially my family. So it's a real blessing to be in this situation. Honestly, just don't take the first game for granted. Go out there, play hard, play defense, play how we normally do.
Joleigh Broome was named the SEC Tournament MVP after dominating all weekend long. Broome had double-digit points in all 3 games and double-doubles in 2 of them. In the first matchup against South Carolina, the big man had 18 points and 10 rebounds, while against Mississippi State, Broome had 10 points. In the title game, the center not only collected another double-double, but led both teams in scoring with 19 points and 11 rebounds. He surpassed 2,000 career points as well. Broome got even more recognition as it was announced earlier today that he earned AP Third Team All-American and NABC Division I All-District First Team honors. Chad Braken-Mazzara was the other Tiger named to the All-Tournament team alongside Broome. He scored double digits in 2 games with 14 points against Mississippi State and 10 against the Florida Gators. The win against Florida also secured head coach Bruce Pearl's 200th career win at Auburn. Up next for Auburn, the team will head to Spokane, Washington as a 4 seed for the first round of the NCAA tournament to take on 13 seed Yale on Friday. Starting off in the SEC tournament as a 4 seed and then going into March Madness tournament as a 4 seed, it kind of poses the question of how important is winning a tournament for your seeding. It kind of makes you think if they started off as a 4 seed, they won, they got the title, and now they're still a 4 seed, kind of doesn't add up.
Yeah, so, if we look at the AP Top 25, Kansas is a 4 seed, Duke's a 4 seed, and Alabama's a 4 seed, yeah. And the AP Top 25 poll, we're ranked 7. Duke's 13, Kansas 17, Alabama's below that. So the math isn't mathing, in my opinion. So I think it's very questionable. And as we look at the bracket as well, we match up with Yale first round. What do you think about that matchup? Do you like Auburn's chances in it?
I definitely think Auburn has high chances. Coming from the SEC, we know how to fight. We know how to go out with a bang, and I think we'll definitely secure a win in that game. What do you think?
I agree. I think we're placed in such a tough region. The Big Ten champions in our region, Big East. Mm-hmm. What's the other one? I can't remember. Big 12, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, with a lot of champions in this region, Auburn, I do like our chances against UConn, even though it's a number 1 overall seed. I think Iowa State's going to be tough, though.
Agreed, definitely.
We'll see.
We'll see how it all shakes out. Well, when we come back, we'll discuss women's basketball dancing into the NCAA tournament and the start of SEC play for baseball and softball.
But of course, it's trivia time. Which blue blood did Auburn not take on during its magical Final Four run in 2019? Is it A, North Carolina, B, Kansas, C, Duke, or D, Kentucky?
You can let us know what you think the answer is on our X at EETV_sports and on our Instagram stories at EagleEyeTV_sports. We will see you after the break. Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Valerie Heffernan.
And I'm Jack Corbett. If you said the answer was C, Duke, then you were right. In 2019, Auburn took on and beat Blue Bloods North Carolina, Kansas, and Kentucky to advance to the Tigers' first Final Four, but not Duke. As a 5 seed, Auburn defeated 4 seed Kansas in the second round 89-75, 1 seed North Carolina in the Sweet 16 97-80, and 2 seed Kentucky 77-71 in overtime in the Elite Eight. The Orange and Blue ultimately fell by just 1 point to 1 seed Virginia in the Final Four 63-62.
I mean, that was definitely a time to be an Auburn fan. I remember those games. They were crazy. Auburn was on our winning streak until that Final Four game.
That Virginia game was a heartbreaker.
Definitely.
Virginia double dribbled. I'll die by it. I will stay there till the end.
Die on that hill.
But yeah, that whole run was like my first exposure to Auburn because we're both from Kentucky and I'm a Louisville fan. So obviously I was cheering against Kentucky. So I was cheering for Auburn. Remember Jared Harper, he was a baller.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy that we're here now, full circle moment.
Definitely a full circle moment.
Well, switching over to the women's side, the Lady Tigers are going to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2019. They are an 11 seed and will travel to Storrs, Connecticut to face 11 seed Arizona in a first 4 matchup. The winner of that game will then go on to play 6 seed Syracuse on Saturday. How far can this women's basketball team go, Val?
You know, I think they will definitely win their first 2 games. I know they play Arizona and Syracuse, so they definitely have that in the bag, in my opinion. But ultimately, I think they will unfortunately lose in that 3rd game, and that will be the end of their road in the tournament.
I'm right there with you on this, Val. I think the SEC is just such a competitive league. I think Arizona won't be able to handle our SEC pressure. Same with Syracuse, but UConn is always just so good. They have Paige Beckers. She's another baller, so I think it'll be hard for them to beat UConn for sure.
Definitely, but we'll see how it shakes out. You know, never know what could happen. Yeah. Well, on to baseball. The number 12 Tigers had a midweek matchup against Troy and traveled to Nashville for the start of SEC play against number 9 Vanderbilt. With a breakdown of the past week of Auburn baseball, it's Kegan Miller.
Well, another week of Auburn baseball in the books, meaning I have some more updates for y'all. Auburn started last week with an 8-2 victory over Troy in Madison, Alabama at a neutral site game. The win was capped with a Cooper McMurray homer in the 8th inning. You'll see his name a lot in this broadcast as he was my Tiger of the week. Over the weekend, Auburn traveled to Nashville along with every other Auburn sport. Auburn baseball, however, did not share the same luck as basketball and gymnastics, as they got swept in a 3-game series against a stout Vanderbilt team. Vandy came out hot in Game 1. Their pitching proved to be too much to handle for the Tiger offense as they fell 11-1 in 8 innings. Game 2 was more the same from the previous night. While Auburn did strike first again in the 2nd game, scoring 2 in the top of the 1st, Vandy answered quickly, scoring 3 in the bottom of that very same inning. Auburn would then tie the game with another Cooper McMurray solo shot, only to have Vandy answer yet again and take off with the lead, beating Auburn 13-5. Game 3 was the closest of the series, with the Auburn Tigers losing only 9-6. For the 3rd game in a row, the Tigers claimed the lead early, only to have Vanderbilt come back into the ballgame once getting to the Tigers' bullpen. The Tigers' pitching staff hopes to shake the whole weekend off and just forget about it before coming back home to play Arkansas, another powerhouse team in the SEC, for the first home series of the SEC for the Auburn Tigers. The good thing is, Auburn will get a chance to relax and hit the reset button for the pitching staff tonight in another neutral site game in Montgomery, this time against South Alabama. This is sure to be a good chance to get Auburn's bullpen back on their feet. Well, that's all I have for y'all this week. Make sure you get out to Plainsman Park for a huge SEC series. See y'all next week.
On the other side of the diamond, the number 25 Lady Tigers hosted number 20 Arkansas for a 3-game series. After Friday's game was postponed because of weather, Auburn had a doubleheader ahead of them on Saturday. The major storyline heading into this series was the return of Bree Ellis, Auburn's best hitter from last year who transferred to Arkansas in the offseason. Ellis's return was storybook, as in the top of the 1st inning she hit a 3-run homer and put the Razorbacks up big early. In the first game, Auburn lost to Arkansas 6-1, and this was because of that big 4-0 lead they got out into in the 1st inning, and they did not let Auburn take the lead at any point. Auburn's sole run came from KK McCrary in the 4th when Anna Wohlers hit a single to allow her to score from 2nd.
In the next game of Saturday's doubleheader, the Tigers had a similar fate, falling to Arkansas 5-1, losing the series with that loss. Eagle Eye's Joleigh Kasmiskie was at the game. Let's take a look.
A lovely day on the plains brought a doubleheader to J&B Northfield on Saturday, as Auburn softball hosted the Arkansas Razorbacks in a top 25 SEC matchup. After losing the first game of the doubleheader, Auburn was looking to even the score. Auburn honored former alumni at the game with Casey McCracken throwing out the first pitch. Razorback bats were hot as Kylie Halverson drove this ball out of the park. Kennedy Miller was having a day as she hit her second home run of the game in the top of the fourth. Auburn didn't let the home runs discourage them as they kept their heads in the game and continued to show off their strong defense. In the top of the fifth, Carmenzen blooped one out to right, and Isis Tresvik came up with this heads-up play to throw the ball to second for the out. However, Auburn struggled to put the ball in play when runners were on base. In the top of the sixth, Bree Ellis flexed on her former team by blasting a ball to right center field. This cemented the Razorbacks' lead as they went on to beat the Tigers 6-1 with this game-ending double play. For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Joleigh Kasmiskie.
Finally, the Orange and Blue looked to escape the sweep with a win on Sunday. With a final score of 2-1, Auburn did just that and completed the upset. Getting 2 runs in the first inning proved to be just enough for the Tigers as their defense led them to this win. The game also allowed pitcher Maddie Pinta to make history. With their 68th win on the Plains, Pinta officially surpassed Kaylee Carlson for most career wins, making her the winningest player in program history. Auburn is currently playing Troy and looks next to head to College Station for a 3-game series against the Texas A&M Aggies.
Number 2, men's golf continued their hot streak, hosting the Tiger Invitational and coming in first place for their second consecutive title. With this victory, the team tied their program record of 5 wins that was set in 1996 and was tied once again last year. In addition, 3 Tigers placed in the top 5 individually. Senior J.M. Butler earned first place, marking the second individual title of his career. Freshman Jackson Kuvan earned second place, and junior Brendan Valdez was not far behind in third. Butler, Kuvan, Valdez, and junior Carson Baca were all named to the 2024 Tiger Invitational All-Tournament team. They have a chance to set the record this weekend at the Seahawk Intercollegiate in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Flipping into gymnastics, the number 14 Tigers were in Nashville this weekend competing at the Kidney Cares Women's Championships. Unable to grab a win against number 6 Kentucky, they outscored opponents number 15 Ohio State and Fisk to finish second overall with a score of 197.575. Fifth-year Cassie Stevens tied for first in the all-around with a 39.650. Coming up, the Tigers will head to the 2024 SEC Gymnastics Championships in New Orleans on Saturday, March 23rd, while Auburn will be the 7th seed.
Swim and dive wrapped up the NCAA Diving Zones qualifier on Wednesday with divers trying to earn their spots into the NCAA Men and Women's Championships. 8 Lady Tigers were chosen to compete with 11 on the men's side as well. Here's a look at all the Auburn Tigers that will be competing. The Women's NCAA Championships begins next Wednesday, March 23rd in Athens, Georgia, with the men starting up in Indianapolis on Wednesday, March 27th.
Coming up on Sports Night in Auburn, we have more NFL free agency updates for you, as well as a look into what's next for Auburn football.
Before we go, though, it's trivia time. Which former Tiger has the most earnings out of any Auburn player currently in the NFL? Is it A, Derek Brown, B, Braden Smith, C, Carl Lawson, or D, Jamal Dean?
Check back with us after this short break to see if you are correct. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Jack Corbett.
And I'm Valerie Heffernan. If you guessed answer B, Braden Smith, then you are correct. An offensive tackle for the Indianapolis Colts, Smith has earned almost $50 million playing in the NFL. He has played in the NFL for 6 seasons and signed a 4-year contract in 2021 that is worth over $70 million. That's crazy.
That's a lot of money. I don't know what I would do with that much money, honestly.
Honestly, I'd be in shock that I had that much money to spend.
Same here.
That's crazy. What would you buy with it?
$70 million on red.
On red?
No, just kidding. I would be boring with it. I'd probably save it, put it in some stocks.
Okay, so you'd be smart and responsible.
Yeah. I think I would, but I guess I don't have that money, so I'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. Well, sticking with the NFL, free agency is still going on, and 2 Tigers have found new homes. The Washington Commanders signed cornerback Noah Igbenogany. Drafted by the Miami Dolphins in the first round of the 2020 draft, Igbenogany played for the Dallas Cowboys last season and looks to start new in Washington in 2024.
Jack Driscoll was the other Tiger on the move as the offensive tackle signed with the Miami Dolphins after 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. There are still 6 former Auburn Tigers that are free agents as of right now.
Sticking with football, Pro Day for Auburn will be this Friday, March 22nd. All the former Tigers hoping to get drafted this year will look to perform for NFL scouts from all over the country. Tickets for Auburn's annual spring football game, A-Day, are also now on sale. The game is set for Saturday, April 6th with kickoff at 1 p.m. The event is free for students and $10 general admission.
Soccer was in action last Saturday against South Alabama for more spring ball. The team won in a commanding 3-0 fashion behind goals from Becky Contreras, Dylan Driver, and Anna Haddock. The Tigers will stay in action this weekend as they travel to Oxford to take on Ole Miss.
It's finally outdoor season for Auburn track and field. The men and women's teams travel to Atlanta, Georgia for their season opener at the Yellow Jacket Invitational. Auburn took home a multitude of awards, winning 8 events from 6 performances. Ajayi took first in the men's 100-meter dash with a time of 10.21, which was the number 6 time in the nation. Ajayi also competed in the 4x100 with Charamba, Fahim, Dario, and Matau, where the group of 4 took first with the fastest event time in the nation. On your screen now are all 8 events that the orange and blue took home the gold for. The Tigers will compete in the FSU Relays in Tallahassee, Florida next on Thursday and Friday of this week.
Men's tennis had a successful weekend with big upsets against number 25 Florida 4-1 and number 16 South Carolina 4-1. Auburn's win against Florida is the first against the Gators since 2013, and their win against South Carolina marked their 3rd straight SEC victory this season. Next up, they will play Vanderbilt on Friday, March 22nd, and number 6 Kentucky on March 24th.
Number 13 women's tennis also hosted big opponents this weekend, but was unable to capture wins, falling 4-1 to number 16 Florida and 5-2 to number 19 South Carolina. They will try and bounce back with more SEC play this weekend against Ole Miss on March 22nd and Mississippi State on March 24th.
Lastly, here are all the Auburn athletic events happening this upcoming week. Val, I heard at the baseball games this weekend against number 1 Arkansas, you can get a free mini bat if you line up early enough.
No way.
Might have to pop out.
We might. Yeah. Well, if you guys are available and around, make sure you go out to at least one of these games. We've got a lot going on here on the Plains. It'll be a good weekend. Well, that is a wrap for tonight's Sports Night in Auburn. Follow us on Instagram at EagleEyeTV_sports.
And on our X at EETV_sports. I'm Jack Corbett.
And I'm Valerie Heffernan. Good night.
And War Eagle.